Let's welcome Lena Kanechi.
Questions?
Yes. Ricky. Ricky was just waving.
Hi.
Hi, Ricky.
Let's see. I am a filmmaker. That's something that's recently
I have
started.
a question.
Yes, question.
What got you into dancing?
Oh, okay. So I was about 8 or 9 years old, and my dad didn't know what kind of extracurricular activity I should do, so he put me in dance class. And I remember dance class because my hair was long. This was like a terrible dance class, by the way, but the dance teacher was she had such a heart. But my hair was long, I wore this leotard, I don't even think we wore tights. And I remember shinning down and trying to spot, and she was like staring at me. She's like, just look right here. And she's like, come on over. And I was trying so hard. I just remember trying so hard, and I think I did such a terrible job. I'm sure my shinies were like bent knees, turned in, arms like this, and I'm just like trying to spot. I mean, I know it was bad, but I remember that moment because it really changed me. It changed my love for dance, and suddenly I was just hooked. I don't know. So that's kind of got me into dance. Another one was an experience working for the Nutcracker, my very first one. I was an angel, and I remember we had to be very perfect. We had a beret across the stage, and we couldn't move, so you couldn't be like bobbing like this. No, that's not a beret. It had to be super straight.
Ricky was asking.
What is it?
He was curious. What has been your biggest moment in dance?
My biggest moment in dance? You know, I think my biggest moment in dance has nothing to do with the stage. It has to do with being in the dance studio. And a lot of my life-changing moments were when I was all by myself in the studio, and I felt like I was kind of going through some troubles at the time, and dance was like a therapeutic activity that just happened to happen. I just remember feeling the space around me and moving with my arms, doing all these beautiful movements, and then suddenly I felt like I was just in the air floating without thinking which direction I was going. And when you kind of experience that, you experience like what it is to be alive, to feel how your blood is flowing. I don't know how to explain it. And it's something that you don't necessarily experience on stage, because on stage you are reflecting out, you are projecting outwards towards some kind of audience in front of you, and this is more of an inward experience. So that to me was one of the biggest moments that I learned that dance could be much more valuable to me than just being on stage and a performer.
We have another one.
Oh.
It's from The Code 92.
Okay.
He said, tell us about some of the commercials you were in, and what was your favorite?
Oh, okay. So I've only been in 2 commercials here in Austin. One was for Gold Bond. I was a ballerina. I remember doing the A-space. And then the other one was also for a commercial called The Bear. I'm not sure, I did not see that commercial. The production company was called The Bear. I'm not sure what the product was because I never even saw it. But we were also ballerinas, so we wore these beautiful pink little tutus. It's totally different from Gold Bond. Gold Bond was obviously like selling things for the feet, and that was the idea for the ballerina, is that her feet are hurting, so what do we do? The other one was just us being very beautiful ballet dancers. It was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. I think it was my first time being in a film studio, which was very interesting. That is just totally different from being on stage. There were several people operating cameras, lighting, and that kind of equipment. There was a lot of like stop and waiting moments where you just kind of waited, and it's really hard on a dancer's body because we have to stay warm. So even though I'm waiting the entire time, I'm just stretching my legs. I'm doing something just so that my blood is still circulating, because after a certain amount of time they're like, okay, we're on now, let's go, and then you have to dance, and there's not really enough time to get yourself warmed up again. So that's a bit of a challenge for dancers, I would say, compared to the stage where you know when you go on, you know how much time you can take from taking a break and then warming up and going back on stage, versus in film you just don't really have that. You have no idea. You just, yeah. Another question? Great.
Yes, from Faith0422.
Yes.
How did you progress from dancing to filmmaking?
Yeah.
And if you had to choose one, what would you choose?
That's mean.
That's a tough one.
So back in 2015, there was shortages of performance space for our freelance dancers. And
So I give you some hearts.
And there were 3 dancers. Her name was Lucy Owens, Nina Grutzina, and me. We were in a dance studio and we were creating some work, and I was like, oh, we're totally going to perform this on stage, this beautiful piece. It was very long and it was beautiful, and I was so excited. And then, dang it, Salvage Vanguard Theater started closing down. I mean, it was just a terrible time. Like, the only thing that was available was Ballet Austin's Black Box Theater or the Rollins Studio, which was like over $2,000, almost $3,000. I mean, how can you afford that as an individual artist, and then at the same time try to advertise and book and get people to buy tickets? I mean, it just seemed impossible. So I was like, hey you guys, hi my dancer friends, do you want to make this into a film? And that's how I got into film. So that was 2015, and since then I've made, so that film is called Solaces, and then I made Bloom, and then I made The Ivory Seed. Well, actually, The Ivory Seed was first, then Bloom. Bloom came out first before The Ivory Seed. Yes, and all of the 3 films have gone into film festival submissions. They are in film festivals, and it's been really kind of exciting for me to do that. Which one do I prefer? Honestly, I don't know. It's kind of difficult. That's a really hard question, because when you're a dancer, especially when you're young, you're so able that each experience feels like you're constantly growing and getting better at certain parts of your body, that it feels limitless. Like you could just do so many things, and that each new experience, you're exploring a new different way of movement that you've never experienced before. And to be able to put on those costumes and be able to go on there in front of the audience and you hear all that clapping, I mean, that is an unbelievable experience that most people don't always get to experience. But in filmmaking, you don't have to worry about your body so much. You don't have to worry about being in front of the audience. Your focus is more on the full production. I think those are the 2 major differences, is that when you're a dancer, you can just focus on dancing, one task. When you're a filmmaker, you are focused on every department. My biggest probably and I'd say the biggest difference I have between the 2 is the communication aspect of it. In dancing, you're kind of like, I'm here, what do you want? As a filmmaker, you're like, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there, so you're directing and you're really trying to make sure that everything looks really great. I love both. I'm going to miss dancing, but I have to move forward in my life and grow as a person, so I somehow, magically, God had given me a space to go into filmmaking, and that's kind of where I established myself into. So more dance films, woo! More other films, woo! And we'll just see what happens. Yeah, I think that's great.
Has dance helped you progress both professionally and personally?
Yes. Yeah. Of course.
That's from the Code 92.
Yeah, definitely has helped me progress professionally and personally. Like I said, I've had experiences therapeutically on my own by myself in the studio and also on the stage. I've learned a lot of different things, what's like to be behind the scenes, what's it like to be aware of the fact that you can't be late, be ready to go, the communication aspect, things like that, where it's just mainly the discipline. And discipline in yourself professionally so that how does it affect other people, but also personally, the discipline for yourself into how you want to be as a person, how do you want to grow as an individual. So definitely. I think I have to wrap up though, because LV needs to be on right now. So catch me on my Instagram page, maybe. I am private, so at LVnthelife is best to see me publicly. And on YouTube, my website is YelenaKonecki.com. You can see my work there.
Alright. Bye, you guys. From LVnthelife, keep loving, keep following, keep liking. Bye.
See ya.